Mohsin Hamid's The Last White Man Summary and Analysis of Chapter 4. Summary. Anders met his boss in Gem Center. His boss told him that he would have killed himself if he was in Anders' place. However, Anders realized that trainee at the Gem Center didn't look alarmingly at him, nor did they feel something different in him. Nevertheless, all the polarized thoughts were there in Anders' mind. He was somehow psychologically unsettled, for at least he knew he was brown. Therefore, he started mimicking other people around him so that to reassure both people and himself that everything was as natural and usual as it was before. Una had clients quite different from Anders, more educated and relatively slender. She was junior but a talented, active and in-demanded one. She hadn't have a permanent job, tested her potentials in writing, acting, now yoga and social media stuff. Una helped her mother bathing and took her to bed. Her mother had a budding insomnia but that time slept for a while. Una wanted to see Anders not for physical satisfaction but perhaps for his company. As she entered Anders' room, she stopped. She saw everything different in Anders, as if she was seeing him for the first time. The whole of Anders was unknown and unfamiliar to Una. They both listened to the music, smoked and had little exchange of words, but Anders was completely conscious of her presence, comfortably and uncomfortably both, and also conscious of his skin color. Una left Anders with unwelcome goodbye. Analysis. Mimicry and ambivalence. Mimicry that leads to ambivalence. The colonized people start mimicking the colonizer, which results in his or her ambivalence. Ambivalence is a psychological duplicity of a victim struggling with genuine self. This again leads to identity crisis. Anders mimic other. Anders mimics other, their talk, movement of lips and their gesture postures, so that to reassure other and most importantly to reassure himself that he is the part of them, that he is not other. So he adopts the behavior of other, but his body is far away from his mind, because his sense of being observed, of being on the outside, that results in his split personality and frustration. The quoted passage is, he began instead to mirror the others around him, to echo the way they spoke and walked and moved and the way they held their mouths like they were performing something, and he was trying to perform it too, and it was he didn't know. To authenticate my arguments as known, I would like to give reference of Homi K. Baba, who is the initiator of the concept of hybridity, mimicry and ambivalence. Tyson in her book Critical Theory Today also supports such views in light of post-colonialism. The second major theme is beauty sick. As we have read about Una in chapter 2, Una is a beauty sick. Her sickness is maintaining her beauty. She is overconscious about her physical health. Now, in this chapter, after doing social media stuff, means uploading her own gorgeous pictures, she realizes that even that is not her. She hasn't too many followers. This makes her worried about her physical health. She thinks she might be unattractive. With this, Mohsin Hamid draws our attention to the sorrows and problems of modern women. Social media, wherein people's reaction has a profound effect on their body. It is certainly a devastating effect of their mind on body and body on their mind. Unlike Anders, who is struggling for his true identity, Uno is struggling for her fake, skin-deep identity. Thus, she is a part of superficial culture where body precedes soul. I would love to recommend a book about beauty sick. The name of the book is Beauty Sick, written by Rainey. Post-colonial features. The dominant theme of the novel is racial discrimination based on color. Since Anders was white, now brown, Una feels quite different about him. This chapter clearly spotlights those very peculiar feelings of Una about demonic other, as Anders is in this context. But we are not going to generalize and finalize this interpretation. So, Anders is the one whom Una slept with. He is unfamiliar and unknown to her. She struggles as if she is searching for real white Anders and brown Anders as the narrative goes on. The dark man was there, the dark man who had been Anders, and she had seen him once before. This dark man even had sex with him once before. Bizarre now to think. But it was as if she was seeing him for the first time, an unknown person, and she had to will herself to see Anders in him, to see that this was Anders. The Anders she was familiar with, had spent many nights with. Over these past months, this was that Anders. Moreover, we can notice that Una goes to Anders' house. She just wants his company. This time they have neither physical intimacy nor emotional connection whatsoever. She is there with him. This shows a positive signal leading towards their adjustment, their compromise and resilience. But I am not completely sure what will happen next in the upcoming chapters. Let's see.